Well, fellas, if you can, I would highly encourage you guys to download the public test client to your PC so you can check out what you're watching in the background right now, which is the upcoming special operation for the 80th anniversary of D-Day. Wargaming has gone all out with this operation, which is very impressive because operations, as neat as they are, tend to be some of the lesser played modes, but this one is very unique and very interesting. We're going to walk you through it today. So what you saw me taking there in the first few seconds of the video is intelligence bonuses that you can get from playing through the operation multiple times. I took I forget what it's called, but it is a buff that gives me a 30% reduction in the amount of damage I take from torpedoes, which is something you are going to need because, as you can see here in the first minutes of the operation, you do get a bunch of snail boots to your face, which, if you have a ship like the West Virginia 44 with a secondary build, as you can see, does chew through them pretty well, along with, of course, the likely high number of friendly cruisers you're going to have with you. Heavy cruisers seem to be quite the way to go for this mode, especially if you have like an American heavy cruiser or even an American light cruiser with good AA and lots of DACA. So after you deal with the torpedo boats, then the planes show up. There's a couple of airfields on the map that spawn in these torpedo bombers, and as you'll see here in a second, another surprise round of planes. So you get the torpedo boats, you get the torpedo planes after that, and as you'll see going into this match, I guess you could call it, the game is essentially giving a little taste of what's to come. Don't be surprised if you find yourself thinking, oh, this is kind of slow as you enter into this operation here in the first few minutes. Trust me, it speeds up quite nicely. So then a few minutes later, after the first couple rounds of planes, you'll see that there are minefields spawning in on the map. And what you notice too is kind of weird. I'm not sure if it's just the way that detecting the minefields work, but if you notice the red highlights that cover the area where the mines are generally located, they move and expand and such. I'm assuming that just means that more mines are being spotted, so the detection aura is moving to where the more central location of the minefield is, or there could just be more mines spawning in. That's just kind of a glitch right now with the UI. But anyway, so on top of the mine spawning in, you also now are tasked with dealing with these AA guns. You need to take out these AA guns so allied aircraft can come in and spot further targets for you to, well, bombard. And what's really cool here is that it really feels like a realistic military operation with various classes actually fulfilling their class roles, much more so than you'll see in random battles. Battleships generally will be pounding these ground targets with their main battery guns. Cruisers are providing additional AA screening and screening against the torpedo boats, as you'll see later on, destroyers. And I'm guessing if you do get a destroyer, you'll probably, of course, be excellent at murdering these little torpedo boats. There is a lot going on in this operation, as you'll see here in a second. So right now, for example, I'm having to deal with these torpedo boats, navigate through a minefield. I'm also trying to get, obviously, my main guns on the anti-aircraft guns as much as I can, while still trying to, again, not sail straight into mines, which you can, of course, clear by using your ASW aircraft. It seems to be that they have shrunken down the blast radius for the ASW for at least dealing with the mines, because I'm only knocking out like 1 or 2 mines every time I launch one of these ASW planes, which, I mean, does make it more difficult, but again, you don't want your operation to be too easy. So again, you can see here I'm trying to work my way through, plow myself a path with my ASW. These torpedo boats keep popping up, and as you'll see too here in a minute, the game goes and it gets a little bit evil, and you'll eventually have to start dealing with torpedo planes on top of the torpedo boats and the minefields, and having to target land targets. So it is a bit of a handful, but it's challenging, and that's what I think makes it fun. So there, I believe I finally destroyed, well, myself and my teammates destroyed enough mines for that minefield to despawn, and now I'm free to use both my rear and front turrets to deal with this last AA gun nest, which our cruiser does deal with. There's another AA gun nest over there. And since I am playing an American standard battleship, it's faster to turn the entire ship than, well, wait for your turrets to turn. But as you can see, there's plenty of wonderful shells heading in at that AA gun in place. But so now that that's taken care of, here comes, well, a lot. As you can see, there are more mine dropping planes coming in, more torpedo planes coming in as well. And now the coastal batteries have been spotted by the Allied aircraft that can now fly in and spot these targets for us. So these coastal guns, you need to knock these guys out. First off, Hans did not miss upper body day. Look at the fire rate of this coastal gun. That is insane. He's got to be one of the Schlieffen gunners, right? But anyway, you need to take these guns out so your landing ships can come in and be hopefully mostly unmolested as they try to take the beach. I do try swapping to AP here to see if it does any better against the coastal guns since they are armored targets. Spoiler alert, it doesn't. If you're in a battleship, you're going to just be spamming HE this entire match. So there is that. Thankfully, we do take that one out pretty fast. Notice they do have 102,000 health. There's an aerodrome over there, 250,000 HP. If you have, I think, the Ark Royal, any of the British CVs are excellent for just nuking those things off of the map. And that would, of course, give your teammates a bit of a reprieve from dealing with the torpedoes, planes, and the minefield and such. So anyway, so I'm trying to take out this next coastal gun that's 12 kilometers away from me. If you notice, too, destroyers, actual full-on destroyers, have now spawned in the southern part of the map. And it's called a Renowned 44, a bit off guard down there. So, as I'm turning to get my main guns on this other coastal gun, I'm also trying to get my secondary guns into range to deal with the 3 Z-23s that have now spawned down south to try and help our Renown out. At the same time, I'm having to deal with dodging these torpedoes as well. It's a wonderful mess in this operation for sure. A lot more hectic than some operations in the past. And then my computer crashes. Well, my computer didn't crash, my game crashed. Thankfully I was able to load back into the game. It is still in testing, right? But that's, I think, the first time in a long time that my game has crashed. But anyway, as you can see in the back, the landing ships have now spawned with a couple of AI escorts. But that's not going to really be enough, as you'll see here in a moment. Thankfully, I was able to spawn back in before the Z-23s were able to, gang up on my West Virginia 44, but the Renown did, unfortunately, get taken out in the process. So now we still have, look at the primary task on the side. We have to destroy all the coastal guns. We have to destroy the destroyers. We have to get 5 of our landing ships ashore, so forth and so on. So it's a lot, and now there's a whole heck of a lot coming at us too. We have the destroyers. Some more destroyers have spawned up north as well behind the landing ships. Thankfully, our Indianapolis is behind there as well. Boise's over here with me trying to deal with these Z-23s. And you're right, more mines, you're right, your eyes do not deceive you, more mines have spawned in on the map, even in front of the friendly transport. So that's a bit to deal with. What I'm trying to do right now is slow down and just keep this coastal gun in range. I was trying to see if my secondaries would fire on him, which it's weird, they wouldn't, but if you go back a little bit earlier, they were indeed opening up on this a previous coastal gun. So I was confused as to why the secondaries were chewing on one coastal gun, but then for some reason they decided to stop with this one. I'm not sure. I'm guessing it's a bug. I would assume your secondary guns would be able to fire on the coastal defenses. It would make sense. It would definitely help when you're down 2 ships now, and you're having to have 2 ships peel off to go to the back to try and protect the landing vessels from the enemy destroyers. So yeah, here's some more aerial drop torpedoes right on my nose. Thankfully, I do have a hill going up. I'm holding my repair party because these planes are just essentially consistently spawning. So I'm in that repair party for the next round of planes, so if I do get another instance of flooding, I can at least stop that, because I'm down to 20,000 HP. Flooding hurts a lot, and 2 instances hurts a hell of a lot more than 1 instance of flooding. I'm also trying to avoid these pesky little islands in the way here. So we get 11,000 damage on that one coastal battery, and here you see I was swapping over to AP because I'm figuring, oh come on, these are 16-inch guns, right? Surely 16-inch guns should be doing a little bit more damage to the coastal battery than 11K. As you see as well there, some more torpedo boats have spawned in front of the landing ships. So now I'm also trying to get back within secondary range for those torpedo boats so I can be, trying to save some of my landing ships from perishing. Nice 17K salvo there on that coastal gun. Also, if you notice too, your damage doesn't count when it comes to shore batteries. So I've done 20,000 damage, but that's to torpedo boats and destroyers. But as you've been seeing in the background, we've been doing a whole hell of a lot more damage to these coastal defenses, the AA guns and the batteries and such. Kind of bummed that that doesn't either have a separate counter somewhere to indicate, you know, the work you've been putting in as a battleship. Because again, these torpedo boats, as you guys saw, those Germans are hauling, right? They are catching air between the waves in those torpedo boats. So with the tier that's available for you to use in this mode, I don't think you can really have too many excellent battleship guns that are good for that, right? Because of the long traversal time of the guns and how slow most battleship shells are at this tier. Hitting a target that's doing probably 50 or 60 knots that's also incredibly tiny ain't exactly going to be working for the main battery guns for a battleship. So yeah, another counter for shore battery damage would be appreciated here, wargaming. So there we finally managed to get our primary task completed, but we still have, I believe, some more secondary tasks to clean up. We still have to wait for the landing ships to get to shore. I almost go down here, got down to I think like 800 HP. Thankfully my hill did come off of cooldown, and it is the West Virginia 44, so it's got that nice American battleship hill. Get my rear turrets out on this coastal gun. I'm trying to take it out before, well, it takes out what's left of our landing ships. I managed to clip them there with a little 6,000 damage strike. As again, I'm having to maneuver as hard as the rudder on the West Virginia 44 will allow me to deal with all these aircraft coming in at me. Which again is been plenty of them. As you see, we have 65 shot down so far, and it ain't even over just yet. Another torpedo there on the nose. Got an, oh yeah, the 89 HP, 88 more than what we need. Great adrenaline rush boost going on right now, though. All right, thankfully I managed to get that hill off. We do lose another landing ship there, so yeah, unfortunately not all of the landing ships made it ashore. Some of them made it ashore, you know, and we do at least satisfy enough conditions to get a win out of it. So yeah, this is, by the way, just the first of 3 of these missions. This is just, I believe we're going to get the landing, then we're going to get a mission from the German perspective, and then we're going to get, I believe, the recovery operation or something like that. There are 3 missions planned for the anniversary of D-Day. Yeah, see there too, you know, I did a lot of damage to the shore-based targets, yet I'm only second from the bottom on the team, which granted I did disconnect in the middle of it too, so I know that's not probably ideal for you know, earning damage and such, and you know, boosting your XP. But it shot down 78 planes, did a fair amount of damage to their shore installation. So I feel like it's a little unrewarding to battleship players at the moment because of that. I'm not exactly sure how the economy of operations works, but it seems to be pretty much a standard Warships economy. And since I didn't do a ton of damage to ships, I didn't sink, you know, 20 torpedo boats, right, stuck down there at the bottom. But it's still fun. I mean, and operations are really meant to be fun, and they can be quite profitable if you do 5-star them, which unfortunately we weren't able to do there. I did also run this with the Texas just for, you know, historical accuracy sakes, and tier 5 ships don't really seem to be the way to go here, especially with how hectic it can get there toward the end. I figured Texas with Oliver AA would be a pretty good pickup, and yeah, I mean, like, the AA is good when the CV planes are, well, actually the aerodrome planes are within her AA range, but other than that, yeah, you're going to want to take probably a tier 7 battleship at least. I know there's a couple of, you know, really good tier 6 and 5 cruisers that will probably do fine in this mode, but battleships, you definitely want to take something that can either has good AA or good torpedo damage resistance for sure, with the amount of torpedoes that are going to be thrown at you. But yeah, I think it's pretty amazing what they've done here so far. This is a lovely operation. I think it's going to be one of my favorite once it does get fully released, so I'm excited for it. Again, if you guys can get the test server, the test client downloaded to your machine. I would highly encourage you guys to check it out for yourselves and have some fun doing it. You also get some rewards for playing on the public test server if you do partake in this round of testing. I believe it's up over the weekend, so you've got from actually today the 2nd through I believe Monday to try it out for yourselves, at least on the North American server. So hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to 56,000 subs. We're getting very close to that goal, and I can't thank you guys enough for that. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Hope to catch you guys in the next one.